Greetings, brothers. Welcome to the Blood Angels Commander channel.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of our Sunday night live Army List show. We are on episode 226, I think. I've lost track. The thumbnail, I'm sure, tells the right number. But good evening, everybody. Foz, hello. Stuart Collins, hello. Bundy, hello. Zakoon, Boris, Jeff, Bad Francis, Lone Wolf, Lone Moose, excuse me. Nice to see everybody. Vintage Flankers in here as well. Greetings over in France. How is France this evening? But yeah, welcome. We do this every Sunday night. We look at people's community submitted lists. You can get your list on the show simply by putting the export from like the Games Workshop app or whatever app you. I just need the text file basically of the army list. Put it in the comment section for this show. Or a previous version of the show, and you've got a chance on, at some point, I'll review your list on stream and I'll tell you, did I hear that you will no longer be doing your Friday video? No. I haven't made any bonkers announcements like that. I think my whole channel revolves around the Friday video, so it's the first time hearing of it, Henry. I don't know where that came from. The rumor mill is out of control. Probably Valrak made that rumor, trying to get my subscribers. I don't know, man. Good evening, anyway, and yeah. If you do enjoy tonight's stream at any point, please do leave a like button. No, do press the like button. And if you are new to Blood Angels and you want to hear more Blood Angels stuff, probably I was going to say, you want to see a Blood Angels video every Friday on YouTube, then I'm not doing that anymore. I've given up on that, in all seriousness. Please do subscribe, because videos are going to come out every Friday. Like it or not, they're fucking coming on a Friday, because that's what I do here, is we put out a video on a Friday. But yes, we've got 6 lists to look at. I'm hoping some of them will be Liberator Assault Group, but if anything, I was going to say, if recent weeks are anything to go by, we're definitely going to see a few Rage Cursed lists, because Rage Cursed Onslaught is super popular. It's still popular. I guess people like the new thing, right? Let's have a quick look at win rates before we get started today. Win rates. Blood Angels, 49% win rate at the moment. Rage Cursed is still massively ahead. Liberator Assault Group is still bottom. It looks like Liberator Assault Group this weekend passed at 92 players. Rage Cursed has 218 players. So, almost a ratio of like 70% people playing Rage Cursed. Like 20% playing Liberator Assault Group, and then 10% playing Angelic Inheritors, which I still think is a good detachment, but its win rate has dropped an awful lot. And was there any event wins? Yeah, there were some event wins. 5 people won events with Rage Curse, 2 people won events with Angelic Inheritors, and nobody won an event with Liberator Assault Group. Sad times. I do think that might change though, because Blade Guard are really, really strong for Liberator Assault Group, aren't they? So that's hopefully we're going to see some lists tonight with some Blade Guard and Sanguinary Priests. Hello, Aureliana. God, I can't speak tonight, man. I've got a bit of a headache. I was at the gym earlier. Maybe it's that. Maybe I'm dehydrated. I don't know. So, sort of standard for me, I guess. Alright. Foz. We're looking at MetaFest list first. Foz is one of my Discord mods, but he submitted this list and he did super chats last week. I think it was 5 gifted subs last week to try and get on the army show. So we got him on first this week. I haven't submitted a list in a long time, but I figured I'd take a stab at a crazy list concept. I look forward to your thoughts. Oh my goodness, this is Librarius Conclave. I'm going to have to actually read. I'm going to have to read stuff, because I don't even remember what Librarius Conclave does. At the start of the battle round, you select one of the following psychic disciplines. So you can give the effects apply to all Psyker units from your army. So I guess if it's a unit that has a Psyker attached, you can get 2/2 movement. You can reroll hits and wounds of 1. You can get improved AP at close range. You can get -1 strength when you're being attacked in range. And then you can also ignore modifiers to weapon and ballistic skill. I feel like that's a lot of cognitive load, but I guess we'll see what we've got going on. Hello, Calgar. Hello, Miguel. Inceptors are glorious now with the character rule. I'm adding them to every single list. All right, Inceptors and Angelic Inheritors. Yeah, because because you can attach a character to them. Cool. Hey John, I ran a 6-man Blade Guard with the Sanguinary Priest and 5 Death Company with Bolters out of a Land Raider against Fulgrim and Flawless Bloods. Is that what it is? Bloods. I destroyed Fulgrim. I killed most... Flawless Blades. Death Company with Bolters hit hard. Cool. I mean, I think Blade Guard with the Sanguinary Priest are very, very good now. I ran 12 of them this week. And all I was doing last night was painting more Blade Guard. So, alright, we've got an Apothecary leading Hellblasters, we've got a Captain leading Sanguinary Guard, we've got Mephiston, because I guess he gets the psychic ability. We've got that new psychic character on a bike, who's going to bring back Outrider every turn. We have another Librarius Adept leading a unit of Death Company. He's going to get +1 to wound, I believe, from the Litany of Hate. We've got the Venerable Dreadnought, who I assume is going to be a Psyker, of course. We're going to give him Tactical Precision, and we're going to give him a Smite. I don't know if I've got the rules for Tactical Precision anywhere. Maybe in that Crucible of Champions video I did? Oh, I didn't think many people would submit lists with Crucible of Champions stuff, honestly, because... I guess it's not really going to be allowed for competitive play for the most part, right? I think, am I remembering wrongly? I'll check. Tactical Precision is what? The Dreadnought get lethal hits? Yeah, that's what I thought, Calgar. Lethal hits for the Dreadnought. I've got the rules. Hold on. So Librarius Adept is basically a Psyker that gives sustained hits. Okay. And then Tactical Precision is lethal hits. Okay, so we've got one Psyker that's leading Outriders that's bringing one back to life, but also giving them sustained. We've got a Librarian leading the Death Company. That's such a weird option. But it's valid, I guess. So the Librarian can lead the Death Company, give them sustained hits and +1 to wound. It's very good, isn't it? And then you get lethal hits on a Dreadnought that has the Brutalis Talons, a Smite, a Multi-Melta. I really feel like you should give this Dreadnought the friggin' Macro Plasma Cannon. I don't know if the Talons feel worth it enough over that Plasma Cannon. Because you lose like 1 melee attack, but you potentially get like D6 +1 blast. And I think the Plasma Cannon it's definitely flat 3, I think. Maybe it was in flat 4. It's been forever since I ran a Redemptor Dreadnought. I'm figuring it's flat 3, right? But I think I would give them the Plasma Cannon, because you still get 5 attacks, 12 -2, 3. But yeah, it's -4, 3 on the Plasma Cannon plus blast. I think that's worth 1 attack, right? Because the Talons... I mean, I guess the Talons have twin-linked. Yeah, so you give up 1 attack in twin-linked for potentially 7 plasma shots with blast. Strength 9, AP 4, flat 3. I feel like I would do that. Yeah, you have to take a hazardous roll, but like... I feel like it's worth it. I think you can add it with Smite. There's no reason I don't think you cannot take it with Smite. So I would take the Redemptor Fist and the plasma cannon on the dreadnought. We've got a squad of intercessors. Fine. Power fist, grenade launcher, the standard. We've got the impulsor full of apothecary and hellblasters. Cool. We've got jump intercessors. I mean, I don't really like jump intercessors at strength 4, but fine. We've got ballistus dreadnought. We've got 10 death companies, so they'll have sustained hits with +1 to wound. We've got a lancer. We've got that hellblaster squad. We've got a squad of 6 outriders, one of which we can bring back to life every turn. I'm actually surprised you didn't put an invader ATV in there as well, just because if you're bringing back the outriders, the ATV has a bunch of ablative wounds, I guess. The sustained hits the Adeptus gives, are they melee only, or are they just general sustained hits? I know it's shooting as well, so you'd have sustained on the multi-meltas as well if you did attach an ATV. I mean, that's not horrible either. You got 6 Sangre Guard, and you got a squad of scouts. I would probably, I guess you've got the captain leading the Sangre Guard. Okay. I mean, I would probably lead the Sangre Guard with just another Librarian Adeptus, man. I think that would be giving the Sangre Guard sustained hits. And then the psychic bonus is going to be better than what another captain can do, right? Unless I'm missing something. I think I would just have a third, like... Oh, are you only allowed 3 Crucible Champions? So by taking the Dreadnought, you can't have... Oh, it makes sense. Yeah, maybe that's the point. I don't know if I feel like you're getting enough out of the detachment rules, though. Because your detachment is only hitting like 3 or 4 units. Like, I've nothing against the characters that you created. Like, giving sustained and +1 to wound to Death Company. That's sweet. Bringing back an Outrider every turn. Seems pretty sweet. The Librarian Dreadnought. I don't know if I think he's that great, but I think he's okay with the plasma. But yeah, I don't know if I feel like you've got, like... Gladius could be better. You've got a lot of characters attached anyway, so... Angelic Inheritors could be really good here as well. Angelic Inheritors would let you put sustained on those Hellblasters, which is pretty nice. What am I missing stratagem wise? Like, what's the cool stratagems? Like I said, I haven't really looked at Librarius in ages. What stratagems do they get? We can do some mortal wounds from a psycho unit. We can add a couple of strength in melee. We could add 2 to charge rolls. Well, I guess that's not too bad. You can give a unit lethal hits and ignore cover. You can make a unit -1 to hit. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I just don't know if it's the best attachment. I don't think people are really playing it, right? Is Library, like, we started the stream by looking at win rates. Let's have a quick look and see if anyone's actually playing Librarius in Space Marines. So Librarius Conclave does get played. 2 people played it. They actually had a really high win rate. 64%. So the 2 people played it. It's not that huge. I guess one of the people went 4-1. One of the people went 3-2. Probably not many people have experience of playing against Librarius Conclave, which in of itself could actually make it perform better, just because people don't know what to expect. I think the units seem fine. I just don't like if we add up the points, you know. Like, I always think that, like, when you're playing Liberator Assault Group, you can get 60% of your army, 70% of your army to benefit from your detachment rule. here, if we add the two characters together, that's 300 points. We add these other two characters together, we're like 490 points. A unit of Outriders is 160. A unit of Death Company is like 230. So at best, like 900 points of your army is getting the bonus from your detachment. Like, I don't know if I feel like that's enough, right? Like, that's the bottom line for me, is like, your detachment is the detachment you're in typically in like gives you the strongest rule, right? Liberator Assault Group, +2 strength to everybody, +1 attacks to everybody, strong, you know. Rage Cursed Onslaught, +1 attack to everybody, reroll 1s to everybody. Very strong. You know, like, the Librarius detachment seems somewhat strong. I just don't think there's enough characters in there to utilize it to its fullest. I mean, I guess you've got a Lancer, a Ballistus Dreadnought. They're fine, you know, they got some baked in rerolls. You got the Hellblasters coming back to life. You've got Oath of Moment you can spread around. Yeah, I don't think it's too bad a list. I just don't know, man. For me, I think the sticking point would be like, I don't think I have enough units that benefit from the detachment rule. I'd be trying to do something like maybe not take the Apothecary with the Hellblasters, and I think you put them in an Impulsor, right? Like, maybe just ditch the Impulsor, put 10 Hellblasters on foot and give them a Librarian, because it just gives you another psychic unit that can benefit from all your psychic buffs. A Librarian giving Hellblasters a 4-up invuln is not the worst thing in the world either, right? I feel like Jump Pack Intercessors are pretty weak in this detachment. Apparently only the champion of the chapter can lead the Sangry Guard with the Hero of the Golden Host Jump Pack upgrade. Oh yeah, I think there was some around that. I think it's Foz, I think it's a pretty cool idea to try and make Librarius Conclave work. I've had a lot of people say to me, like, you should try and make Librarius Conclave work. I've never really seen a list that excites me with Librarius Conclave. This seems like it might be okay. But I feel like if I was doing this, I would feel like I would want to double down and get more units that benefit from my detachment rule into the list. Hello, Xander. Good evening. Yeah. You might also really struggle into certain things, because I know there was a stratagem that let you give units extra strength. What is it? Until the end of the phase, add 1 strength to infantry units. Adding 1 strength isn't the worst in the world, but you aren't getting the extra attacks. So I think your Jump Assault Intercessors are kind of weak. I guess Intercessors without... Yeah, I feel like the Jump Assault Intercessors are kind of weak. Outriders, strength 5, strength 6. It's fine. It's nothing amazing. If you play against something like Tyranids with like a monster mash list where they just have like tons of monsters, I think this sort of list might get pretty unstuck. Because I didn't see any stratagem that gives you Lance. And I don't really think, apart from your 1 Death Company unit, you don't have anything else that can get Lance. So then, you know, you're playing against a lot of monsters. Your Ballistus and Gladiator are going to be bullet magnets. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I'm really not sold on Librarius detachment. I think this is okay. I just don't think it. To me, it feels like it's a 6 out of 10, right? Like it doesn't feel like, wow, this is going to make that detachment really good. And like, not many people are playing that detachment, probably because it's not seeing great results. Kenny's in Boston. Good evening, Kenny. McFadden says, making peace with Firestorm not being in 11th at the same time and realizing that Death Company had a systematic loadout with Raptors Legionnaires. Yeah, you know, Firestorm is an interesting detachment because I don't think the Flamers were ever strong enough either, right? I was going to say, we just looked at the stats. Was anyone actually playing Firestorm this week? Yeah, a few people. What? 16 people have played Firestorm this week. That McFadden, apparently a 54% win rate. And it definitely, I'm not sure why there's no number here, but it definitely looks like somebody did a tournament win with Firestorm just this weekend. So maybe it will be here. But I do miss the days when Death Company and like Vanguard veterans could take crap loads of hand flamers, right? Like, hand flamers were always like strength 3. If you're going to take 10 of them, I don't think it was ever that strong. I don't think it needed to be nerfed. Firestorm with Salamanders is pretty good. Yeah, the new Salamanders characters are not too bad, actually. I think the new Salamander character, is it like Vulcan? He gives you like a crazy reroll all wounds against flamer weapons or something, which is seriously good. But I thought they came with a new detachment as well. I'm sure I've covered that in the channel. Anyway, we're going to move on to Shadow Knight's list next. He is playing Rage Cursed Onslaught. We've got We've got Captain of the Jump Pack, we've got Chaplain with the Jump Pack, we've got Dante, we've got Lamartez, we've got a Priest with Fight First, and another Priest. Okay, so we've got Intercessors on foot, we've got a single Impulsor, we've got Blade Guard times 6, Blade Guard times 3, Centurion Assault Squad times 3 with Maltas, Death Company Marines times 10 with Jump Packs, a Crusader, 3 squads of 3 Sangre Guard, a unit of Scouts. Okay, so the Crusader is going to try and deliver a unit of Assault Centurions and probably a Blade Guard plus 3 and a Priest. Does that fit? Yeah, just. Actually, what is the capacity of the Crusader? Is it 16? So it would fit the 6-man squad of Blade Guard as well, right? I don't typically play a Land Raider Crusader. But thank you so much for the $5, McFadden. I do really appreciate it. And maybe you're being negative. Like, there's no reason to be negative. Maybe Firestorm will still be around. Especially if Salamanders are still going to be around. Yeah, so okay, you could fit the 3 Centurions and the 6 Blade Guard and the Priest inside the Crusader. I don't think a Crusader is that great. Well, it's got a twin assault cannon. It's got some Hurricane Bolters. Yeah, I mean, I guess you take it because it can transport Centurions, right? And Centurions moving 4 inches is tragically slow. So we're going to transport the Centurions and the Blade Guard into the middle. We're going to have Sangre Guard on all the flanks. We're going to have Scouts kicking around to screen or do actions. We're going to have another small unit of Blade Guard with a Priest, possibly in the Impulsor. We've got a squad of Intercessors for some sticky. We've got Lamartez with a 10 Death Company. We've got Dante with 3 Sangre Guard. We've got a Captain with 3 Sangre Guard. And we've got a Chaplain. I have no idea what that Chaplain's possibly attached to. I actually don't think there's anything that this Chaplain could attach to. So maybe it was a mistake. And it's supposed to be another Captain for the 3rd unit Sangre Guard. But yeah, I don't think there's anything that Chaplain can actually attach to, so that's probably a mistake. I think the only things he can attach to are Vanguard Veterans, Jump Assault Intercessors, or Death Company, and they're already attached. So here is my list after the Sangre Priest comes out of retirement. It's a very solid list. Fight First on the 6-man that will be in the Impulsor. The Centurions can one-shot vehicles and deal a reliable 10 wounds to Catan. It's a great trade-up unit. I wish I had more shooting, but I don't. I think it's a necessary sacrifice. I think the way you win games in Rage Cursed Onslaught is you charge enemies with multiple units and you do as much damage as you can that way. So I think we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 7 realistic melee units. A few of them hit very hard. The Centurions, the big squad of Blade Guard, the big squad of Death Company. The 3 squads of Sangre Guard are kind of more skirmishers, but they can just join another unit to kill things off. like you said, we don't really have much shooting. We've kind of taken the Land Raider Crusader. We're going to roll that into the middle of the board. It's a fine list. I mean, if you get... I've played Assault Centurions, and my experience of playing them, and I've played them inside the Land Raider, and I've played them outside the Land Raider. My experience of playing them is if they get into their melee targets, you pretty much just kill. You should always give them oath a moment, and should probably always just fish for the sustained sixes. And if they get them where they need to be, they're just amazing, right? Like, I had a game one time where it was like the 3 Assault Centurions killed like a 20-something wound knight on their own, and then they just moved again and advanced and charged into another 20 wound knight and killed them as well. By the same flip of the coin, I've had a game where the Assault Centurions are like failing their charges over and over and over, moving 4 inches and doing nothing for the entire game, and just felt like 150 points of nothing. So it makes sense to put them in a Land Raider, try and get them where they need to go. I suppose it makes sense to bring the Sanguinary Priest back in to the Blade Guard. You have a lot of attacks with the Blade Guard. All your Sanguinary Guard have lance spears, so you're punching up. Your Death Company have lethal hits, so they can punch up again a little bit. I feel like it's a fairly decent Rage Cursed Onslaught list. The Fight First Blade Guard is also pretty decent. I kind of hate how Rage Cursed Onslaught doesn't have a lance stratagem, because I feel like Blade Guard are so much better with a lance stratagem. I feel like Centurions are probably fine. They're strength 10 with twin linked, but again, lance helps them out ever so much. A Crusader, it's a bullet magnet, but it does have good OC, and maybe some people can't deal with it, and they waste firepower on it, and it protects the Centurions. I think this is a fine Rage Cursed list. I'm not playing Rage Cursed myself at the moment, so I don't know if I can be... I don't know if I'm the greatest wealth of knowledge of Rage Cursed. Like, I've played it like 20 times. I played it to one tournament. I think it's okay. It's just not a detachment I particularly like. But yeah, I think you need to switch this chaplain out for another captain, or switch about for lieutenant to attach to some of the Blade Guard, because I think lieutenant attaching to Blade Guard in Rage Cursed helps them an awful lot, right? It gives them lethal hits and gives them fallback and shoot. That's the other thing I don't like personally about Rage Cursed, is the lack of not fallback and shoot, fallback and charge. You just have no fallback and charge. And I think if your opponents have units that can tar pit you down, that can become problematic, right? Alright, next list for tonight, we're looking at Jimmy Bronco 5336. He is a 2v2 coming up at Adapticon, so this is a 1,000-point Liberator Assault Group list. We have a captain with the Fight First enhancement. We have the Combi Weapon Lieutenant and the new 85 points. I feel like he's very expensive now. I feel like he's so expensive, you should probably always try and find points for Mephisto now, maybe. You've got the Lieutenant... Sorry, the Sanguinary Priest in there as well. So we've got a squad of Sticky Intercessors. We have an Impulsor. We have 6 Blade Guards. So they're obviously going to be with the Sanguinary Priest and the Impulsor. That's great. We've got a Lancer for long-range fire support. We've got 2 units of Sanguinary Guard. One with blades, one with spears. I mean, I guess that makes sense in 1,000 points, because he can use his stratagem on one of them to get... lethal hits and lance, and then he's got Fight First on one of the units of Sanguinary Guard as well. I think this is totally a fine list for 1,000 points, right? It has everything, right? You're going to sticky your home field objective, you can have a long range anti-tank, you've got 2 jump pack units that can fight over flanks, you've got a more durable tanky unit with potentially good damage output thanks to your lethal hit stratagem, and then you've got the Impulsor in there as well for scoring and actions. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a very decent Liberator Assault Group 1,000-point list. I would play this. I don't see anything wrong with it. Yeah, like I said, the only thing I don't really like is this new Lieutenant who's up at 85 points. I don't think you'd be able to change that though, right? Like, you couldn't find 35 points to get Mephisto, and you even if you drop the Lancer for like something cheaper, you're not going to save 35 points. So you're kind of stuck. And I suppose the only other option would be to drop the Lancer for something cheaper and then drop the Fight First. But I mean, Fight First can be very tactical and also can be very useful. So I'm kind of okay with this list. I think I would play it. I don't think I've got anything negative or positive. No, well, positive, yes. The list is positive. Negative, I don't think I've got anything negative I could say about this list. I personally have been finding that I don't really need any Sangry Guard with blades. Like, I just take them all with spears now. But because you're playing 1,000 points, you only have like one other unit that's really going to need your lethal hits. So probably one unit with blades is also totally fine, right? Firestorm is all about flamers and meltas. Yeah, I think Firestorm is decent. Dino says Blade Guard can move on foot just fine. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say that you can run Blade Guard on foot. I like them in Impulsors, man. And the reason I like them in Impulsors is because the Impulsors are just ablative wounds. And I just drive my Impulsors pretty aggressively and then just sit around. And usually my opponents have to spend a whole turn killing Impulsors, and at which point my Blade Guard either spill out and capture the objective for me, or they spill out and are in a great position for like a turn 2 charge. It does also mean if you've got your Impulsor parked behind a wall, rather than just like moving 6 through the wall, you get to move 9 because you disembark 3, then you move 6. So the Impulsors, and then once you've left the Impulsor, it's only 80 points. Impulsors are good at doing shit like sabotage, engaging all fronts. They do get a lot of bolter shots as well, so they can get rid of chaff units. Like, I think I've played at a tournament before where I Blade Guard on foot, but personally I quite like Impulsors. So I think you're right. I think you can do either or. If you don't want to have Impulsors, don't have them. If you want to have them, it's totally fine. Alright, Sanguinar is our next list for tonight. He opted for an ATV over fights first, and this has attained 2 enhancement, but he could also swap those back. Cool. Alright, so we're another Rage Cursed list. We've got a captain in Phobos armor. We've got a captain with a jump pack. We've got a chaplain with a jump pack plus the 6-inch scout move. We've got Lemartes, and we've got double Sangry Priest. So I think what we're going to be seeing is like a bunch of people taking Sangry Priest with Blade Guard. I feel like I've got issues with that in Rage Cursed. And I think the issues I've got are the stratagem that you've got for them is going to give them what? +1 strength, +1 AP. Well, Blade Guard aren't going to get all that much from being AP4 over AP3. I feel like if you're AP3, your AP is already good enough. And I think Blade Guard going to Strength 6 is probably not nearly as meaningful as Blade Guard going to Strength 7 from a charge and Liberator Assault Group and then having access to both lethal hits and lance. And I think the reason Blade Guard are super good in Rage Cursed is because up until now, the only person we've seen winning a tournament with Blade Guard and Rage Cursed was actually running the Lieutenant with them to get lethal hits. So I personally don't think the Sangry Priest is as meaningful with the Blade Guard in this detachment and the Angelic Inheritors detachment as it is in Liberator Assault Group. Like, I think the Sangry Priest plus Blade Guard and Liberator Assault Group are just so much better because Strength 7 is just so meaningful in terms of breakpoints, in that like Strength 7 means you wound basically all, you know, like chaff infantry on 2s, elite infantry for the most part on 3s, unless it's like Death Shroud Terminators. And then because you're Strength 7 +1 to wound, will let you wound anything else in the game on 4s, right? Even like Lords of Skulls, you'll wound on 4s. Whereas like, if you ended up fighting against Lord of Skulls in Rage Cursed, even if you use your stratagem, you're still only wounding them with 6s, right? Because they're Strength, Toughness 13 or something, and you're Strength 6 at best. So I think Blade Guard with the Sangry Priest in Rage Cursed is going to be a little bit more tricky than people are giving it credit for. I think it's amazing in Liberator Assault Group. People want the 3-up, 4-up, 5-up Feel No Pain. Yeah, and I mean, I think that's amazing as well. So I think the defensive profile in both detachments, or in all 3 detachments, is really, really solid. But I think if we're talking offensive output, I think that the Blade Guard are like 20 or 30% better equipped for offensive output in Liberator Assault Group. I mean, maybe I need to make a video on that. I know I've done like 3 videos recently on Blade Guard, but like I think they're way better. Just because they're wound rolls and stuff like that. So intercessors, jump intercessors, the 12 Blade Guard, the 2 Sanguinary Priests, the 10 Death Company with Lamartas, the 5 Death Company with the Chaplain with the Scout move and or vice versa, an Invader ATV, 9, 12 Sanguinary Guard, a 6, a 3 and a 3, and I think one of them will be with a Captain, and a unit of Scouts. I don't really know what this Captain with Phobos armor is doing. I guess he's letting us redeploy some of our units. I guess. I mean, there is value in that. So you can redeploy 3 infantry units. So the Phobos Captain's probably with the Scouts, or maybe he's just unled. He's going to let us redeploy some of our units, so if we don't go first, we can move things around. We have no impulsors, so the Blade Guard are just running around on foot. I mean, I think it's an okay list. I think it's, again, I think, like, I've gone away from Rage Cursed because I think that there's too many times where my wound... I played too many games in Rage Cursed where I got charged, and I basically got tar pitted by my opponent, and I played too many games where my wound rolls into my opponent were 5s. Yes, you are 5s rerolling 1s, but 5s rerolling 1s, I feel like 5s rerolling 1s is less than 40%. Let me just do the math real quick. 5s is obviously 0.33. Rerolling 1s is 0.16, and then of that 1.6 it's 0.33, so add that number to this number. Equals plus 0.33. So yeah, 5s rerolling 1s is like 38%. I feel like there's too many times when I played Rage Cursed that I was in combat with enemy units, and it's like I'm only winning on 5s. My Captain with Power Fist, he's only winning on 5s. My Sanguinary Guard haven't charged this turn, they're only winning on 5s. Like, it just came up too often for me to feel like, you know, wounding on 4s can be quite swingy, right? Like 50% chance to wound. So you've got 10 wound rolls to make. When you wound on 4s, that can swing quite high, right? You can go like, I wound you on 4s, I can roll 9 4-ups. That's totally viable. I can also roll 10 dice and only end up with 2 4-ups. So when you're on 5s to wound, there's quite often you could roll 10 dice and end up with like 1 or 2 wounds. You re-roll a couple of 1s, you don't get any more. So it's like, I don't like this. Too many times I felt like that was a problem for me in this detachment. And I feel like with no fallback in charge for the extra attacks, and I guess only one chaplain, so only one unit has +1 to wound all the time. And the Blade Guard are kind of low strength. Like, obviously people are doing well with this detachment and winning with this detachment, but I really struggled with it. So my understanding of this detachment is you need to overload your opponent quickly with multiple units and kill them. So it's like, you don't charge with 1 unit, you charge with 2, you kill them, you push on and you charge the next unit with multiple units, and you make sure you're always killing and you make sure you're always charging. And in reality, when I play against like Necrons, that doesn't work, I get wiped. When I played against Genestealer cults, that didn't work, I got wiped. What else did I got beat by? I got beat by Ultramarines. They kept falling, you know, like they have like 3 reactive moves. They kept moving away from me every time I tried to charge them. They're shooting me with like Hellblasters, like coming out the Yazoo. There's a Victrix Guard on the table. So I got beat by them, and then I got beat by somebody else. Oh yeah, Monster Mash Nids, right? Like everything in their army is toughness 10 or higher. Like there's a few things that aren't maybe toughness 10. Like maybe there's a few things that are toughness 8, but most of the things is like big monsters, toughness 10, toughness 11, Hive Guard, Carnifexes, what was it? What was the big one? Malceptors, Norn Emissaries. God man, Norn Emissaries, so difficult to kill. 15 OC as well. I think it's so stupid. But and then if they're standing on the objective, they got like a 5-up feel no pain. So I found this detachment very, very difficult to deal with, like a bunch of armies. So my opinion of this is, if you can get the jump on your opponent, you can do all the damage you need to. Great, but it can also fall apart. And if your opponent knows that you're weak when they're charging you, it can be very, very difficult. I think it's only a matter of time that people realize in Rage Curse that, like, once they start engaging you and holding you in combat so you can't make the charges, it's much, much more difficult. And there's also defensive +1 attack and +1 strength when charged. Yeah, I used the +1 strength and +1 attack when charged this week with my Ballistus Dreadnought in Liberator Assault Group, and I actually killed 2 models, and as such it swung me like 5 victory points. It was glorious. Ballistus Dreadnought would get 6 attacks at strength 8 if you use Savage Echoes on it. Good at killing Genestealer cults, that's for sure. Alright, next up's list. Hello Highland Phoenix, good evening. We're looking at JLR 91. He couldn't find space for 2 impulsors with Blade Guard and the Sanguinary Priest, but I really enjoyed this more tanky build. I didn't get shot to pieces for once. Yeah, that's how I felt when I play Rage Curse. Like, I get shot to pieces. If I'm playing an army like Necrons with 3 Doomsday Arcs, my god, it was it was painful to play that. He got to play against Tau. It's, I don't know why it's called Retol Cadre. I think it's Retribution Cadre. Wondering if you have any suggestions. I really like having the high amount of drops. Okay, so this is right up my street at the moment. I'm playing Liberator Assault Group. I'm playing multiple Blade Guard. So let's see what this looks like. We've got a captain. We've got a Death Company captain. I feel like, do you know what? Normally I'd say the Death Company captain is the wrong choice, but maybe here it's going to be fine because we can get lethal hits and lance on that sustained hit Death Company. We've got our Combi Lieutenant and we've got our Priest. We've got a squad of Intercessors. We should of course add a Power Fist and a Grenade Launcher to the Intercessors, just like semantics. We've got the Shield Dome Impulsor. We've got 3 units of Jump Intercessors with Power Fists, great. We've got the 6 Blade Guard. I assume they're in the Impulsor with the Sanguinary Priest. I think that's great. We've got the Death Company captain leading the 5 Death Company. We've got a couple of Predator Destructors. I like them. I think they're good anti-infantry. We've got Sanguinary Guard. I guess they're attached to a single captain. That lets us start them off the board and rapid ingress them for free. I like that a lot. We've got a squad of Scouts, and then we've got actually 2 squads of Terminators with Thunderhammers. Holy shit, we never see Terminators with Thunderhammers. I was thinking they'd be worth trying, actually, after looking at some of the maths with them this week. I think in Liberator Assault Group, they're definitely decent, so they obviously got a buff to get them +1 weapon skill. So how many? We're talking 20 attacks from the 5 guys. Everyone's got 4 wounds. Everyone's got toughness 5. Everyone's got 4-up invan. We can rapid ingress both of them. I think you can add a teleport homer to both squads. I don't know if you need to write that down when you're... I don't know if that needs declared on the... I don't know if you've clicked the box to see you have a teleport homer, but I think you should, because why not take the teleport homer if you can take it? Terminator Assault Squad, yeah, so now they're melee with the Thunderhammers. There's 20 attacks from the unit. In Liberator Assault Group, they'll be Strength 10, AP 2 damage, Devastating Wounds. You could get reroll hits from both the moment, so you could potentially take something like 18 hits out of this unit. So then you roll like 3 6s, so it's 6 Dev Wounds plus a bunch of saves. I really don't mind it, actually. I mean, I really hated it when they were Weapon Skill 4-up. I thought they were absolutely dross. But I think they're okay with 3-up. I think they'd be worth a try. Do I like them more than Blade Guard? I mean, they're only 10 points more, and they have an extra wound and an extra toughness. If you're not going to attach a character to them, I think they're totally fine, right? So 2 destructors, an impulsor, 3 jump intercessor units. We fixed the loadout on this impulsor. We've got the sergeant for the sticky objectives. We probably start the 6 angry guard in reserve. We probably start like 1 unit of jump intercessors in reserve. We've got combat knives on most of the scouts. And we've got predator destructors for some anti-infantry, long-range shooting with some las cannons, hunter-killer missiles. I think this is a cool lag list. I think it probably... I feel like it probably does okay. I think it's got a bit more sticking power than your typical lag list because of the 10 terminators and the 6 feel no pain blade guards inside an impulsor. I think you have a little bit less shooting than some of the lag lists that I've seen, but it's got lots of trading units. You know, 3 jump intercessors, they trade very good. The small unit of Death Company can potentially trade pretty well as well. Then you've got 2 really hard-hitting units in the Blade Guard and the Sangry Guard, and 2 more pretty decent hitting units in the Terminators. I think it's a cool list. I think it's different. I think it's nice to see some people putting Terminators back on the board, because I think it was like far too long. We haven't seen anyone running Terminators. I think there's a place for Assault Terminators in a Blood Angels list. Or at least I used to think there was a place for Terminators in a Blood Angels list. I went to 2 tournaments in 9th edition with a 5-man squad of Terminators on my list. And one of the tournaments, I got to the top table and got beat at the final. And that was with shooting Terminators. And then I went to another tournament with melee Terminators. I'm trying to remember how well I did with the melee Terminators. But I definitely felt like... I definitely didn't feel like they were a waste of a unit, or... You know, I felt like they were a good option. Different to obviously all our fast-moving jump pack units, but sometimes you want different. Sometimes you want something durable. So yeah, it's nice to see Terminators. I think this is a cool list. I think it's worth playing. The Combi Weapon Lieutenant at 85 points, man, he's so expensive now. I don't know if I'm going to take him anymore, because he really doesn't kill anything. He can be tricksy sometimes, but then he's only 1 OC, which can be countered pretty easily. I'm feeling a bit indifferent about the Combi Weapon Lieutenant. Like, I don't think I'm taking him at 85 points. I feel like I'd rather just have a fucking empty impulsor. Not that you can take an empty transport, you need to start something inside it and then disembark. But yeah, I'm not convinced. Alright, Ganabul is our last list tonight. He said, hello, I'm starting a new player. Last year using lag video for help. I finished building and painting just in time for RCO to drop. Anyway, I'm sticking with lag for now to help me learn, but it would be nice to get some good advice about my list, which is most of my models. It's been performing okay. I've had games with it at 2,000 points and I've felt mostly like the tools I need, but I worry about big units of TEQ. What the hell does TEQ mean? I've got a few questions. It's funny how a new player knows an acronym that I don't even know. TEQ in Warhammer. Help me out, chat. Terminator equivalent. That's a term, is it? Is there specifically anything I should tweak? Terminator equivalents. Alright, Colin, I've never heard that before. Or maybe I have in my... I did say I've got a bit of a headache tonight, so maybe my brain is just not... Should I swap the Incursor out for a Combi Weapon Lieutenant? What should I look at getting next to build this into Blood Angels further? Okay. Alright, simple. So Liberator Assault Group at 1999 points. We've got Dante. We've got 2 captains with Power Fists and Plasma Pistols. And we've got a Chaplain with Fight First. Okay, so we've got 3 units of Jump Intercessors. We've got 6 Blade Guard. We've got 6 Eradicators. We've got a squad of Incursors, I guess, give some +1 to hit on shooting. We've got a squad of Infiltrators. We've got 3 units of Sandguard. I feel like you definitely want some of those Sandguard to have spears, if possible. Is Dante really providing enough to take in Rage Cursed? I mean, I think it's the never-ending debate about, is Dante worth taking? I prefer taking the 85 point captain and then rapid ingressing them for free for 0 CP, right? Like, I think that's better than Dante, but I think some people always take Dante. I think it's fine. We then have a Ballistus Dreadnought, and we have a Lancer, and we have a Shield Dome Impulsor. So this is a pretty solid base for Liberator Assault Group. Let me put the units with the characters. So we've got Dante with 3 Sanguinary Guard. We've got 2 Captains with 3 Sanguinary Guard. We've got a Fight First Chaplain with Blade Guard inside an Impulsor. Fire support, we've got the Ballistus and Gladiator. We've got Infiltrators, Incursors, and then the 6 Eradicators. So the unit that stands out is like the most not Blood Angels unit is obviously these Eradicators. I don't think I take Eradicators in my list. I've got 6 of them. I don't play them. I think if we're talking about what we're going to buy next for Blood Angels, I think you have to wait to the summer, man, and be ready to buy the new box set that comes out in the summer, because the things that people would tell you to buy, right, are like Death Company Dreadnoughts. I don't personally really rate those. I don't like them. I've tried them a few times. They don't work for me. Ball Predator, I think, is good, but there's a very high chance that the Ball Predator gets put into Legends. I mean, you could argue there's a very high chance that anything Firstborn gets put to Legends, so you're lucky here in this list you have nothing that is Firstborn, so that's great. I would definitely get money together for the new box set in the summer. That's probably going to be 150 UK. Yeah, Calgar's saying it's maybe not even going to be the summer. It's probably going to pre-order in like 2 months. So you're probably going to need 150 bucks in the UK, and it'll be like, what will it be in America? Like 250, maybe even 300. And then here's the thing, last time they released the new edition, and it was only like a month or 2 after they started killing everything off. They waited for everybody to like pre-order the new edition, and then they said, oh, we're going to remove all the Firstborn stuff afterwards. So the Eradicators stand out as the least Blood Angels unit. And the Incursors also stand out a little bit here in that, like, Ballistus Dreadnoughts don't really need +1 to hit. Gladiator Lancers also don't really need +1 to hit, because both those things have rerolls baked into them. So you could argue that those points could be better spent. You could also argue that a lot of people don't bother with Infiltrators anymore. They just take Intercessors. But I think the Infiltrators are fine. So what could you do with 250 more points? Well, probably a good thing to do would be some Death Company. You could do 5 Death Company with a Chaplain. That's like 190 points, I think, 195. It's a very good trading unit. It can usually trade up 90% of the time. The other option, I guess, would be Outriders are not a bad shout for Liberator Assault Group, because they hit hard and they're very cheap and they can hold objectives. A second Impulsor is also not a bad shout, because you can put like that Captain plus the Stern Guard inside. So you've got a few choices there. The Captain, the Stern Guard, the Impulsor, some Outriders, or what was it I said before that? Some Death Company plus a Chaplain. Like there's, and I think if you did the Death Company and the Chaplain, you might even have enough points to do like, and you swap these guys down to Intercessors, you might have enough points to do Outriders as well. So for a new player, it's a pretty good list, right? There's not a lot that we're missing. He was worried about Terminator equivalents. Well, what do we deal with Terminator equivalents with? Death Company would definitely be useful against that. Sanguinary Guard, if you like, if we assume most Terminators save on 2s and they hit their invuln save on a 4-up, then you just probably change some of these to Spears, because AP2 is the perfect number for taking out Terminators. And when you got +1 to wound, you'll just wound them all that much more often as well. If you're super worried about Terminators, you could do, like I said, one... I'm playing Liberator Assault Group for the first time. Played it last week, actually, and had a really solid victory with it against Genestealer Cults. Playing Necrons on Wednesday night, and I'd lost against Genestealer Cults before when I was playing Rage Cursed. I'd lost against Necrons before when I was playing Rage Cursed. I'm playing a 6-man squad of Sanguinary Guard. I'm putting them with a Captain. I'm rapid ingressing them. Is it possible to submit a list? It's way too late, dude. The queue for non-members, i.e. like grey names, is like multiple weeks. The queue for people that are Patreon supporters or members is like 1 or 2 weeks. That's just the way it works, right? Like, you support the channel, you get your list looked at quicker. That's kind of how we've always done it. 3 Brutalis Dreadnoughts and 3 Death Company Brutalis Dreadnoughts for 960 points should be the standard to build on. Probably not. I really don't. I tried that Death Company Dreadnought like 3 or 4 times, dude. I don't rate it. I don't know how you're supposed to play it. I would much rather the 6 Blade Guard with the Sangre Priest. I think that is way better. And I know it's like 2 Death Company Dreadnoughts is probably the same cost as 6 Blade Guard plus a Sangre Priest plus an Impulsor. I would take them every single week over the double Death Company Dreadnought. I'm pretty sure they will kill the Death Company Dreadnought in 1 activation. And I think if the Death Company Dreadnought hits those Blade Guard, I think he's going to be lucky to kill like 2 Blade Guard. And then, of course, because you're playing Liberator Assault Group, you can just fall the whole Blade Guard unit back. You can charge in again and you can just kill that Dreadnought off. So, yeah, I think these are the 3 that stand out. And I think the replacements are Death Company, Sangre Guard with Lances, Stern Guard plus a Captain inside another Impulsor, or Outriders. So there's a bunch. As long as you're buying not Firstborn units, you should be absolutely fine. And I mean, here's the thing. I think some of the tanks and the weapon options might change in the summer because, like, I don't know if you remember last edition, the Gladiator Reaper was much better. The Lancer wasn't nearly as popular last edition as it is now. And the Valiant has just been pretty bad the entire edition. And it was bad last edition as well. So maybe next edition, the Gladiator Valiant will actually be a competitive option. Who knows? But you know, another Gladiator tank. The cool thing about buying a Gladiator tank actually is you can, if you buy a Gladiator tank, you can also have it, if you don't glue the top bit on, it's also an Impulsor, right? Like a Gladiator has the exact same size and chassis as the Impulsor. There's just a separate bit that you put on top, but you don't have to put on top. And then you basically get a Gladiator and an Impulsor for the cost of a Gladiator. So Ganabul, it might be worth buying the second Gladiator, or second Gladiator, and have it made so that you didn't glue the top shell on, so you can choose to pick the top off and have it as an Impulsor or not. I did that. It's pretty handy. So I think I technically have 2 Gladiator Lancers or 3 Impulsors, but I can't field all of them at once, right? Because they're kind of the same. They're the same tank, just with different top sections attached to them at any given point, right? So I think that's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much to everybody that submitted a list. I'll always say that, like, there wouldn't really be a show if people didn't submit a list, or if you guys didn't show up every week and watch. It was nice to see some Liberator Assault Group lists this week, because we've been seeing so many Rage Cursed. So it feels like some people, like myself, are going back and having fun with Liberator Assault Group again. So that's a nice change. This week on the channel, the plan is on Wednesday night to play against Necrons. Do you know what? There's probably going to be a Liberator Assault Group video out tomorrow, because I filmed it last week. I just need to make a thumbnail and get it uploaded. So I'll probably have a Liberator Assault Group army video coming out tomorrow about the list that I've just played. And like I said, I beat Genestealer Cult, so I'm going to play against Necrons on Wednesday night. Is it crazy to bring a Stormraven? So I took a Stormraven to competitive tournament, dude, and I will never take it again. I think that the Stormraven will be Legends. So if you want to play at a tournament, I think you need to play at the tournament like literally in the next 2 months, because I think they are going to Legends all the flyers. I had fun with it, but I will never take it again, because it's just not good, right? Like it's like 300 and some points, and it doesn't have an invulnerable save, and it's super difficult to hide because it's flying above everything. For the record, when I took it, I put 10 Hellblasters and a Lieutenant and a Brutalis Dreadnought in it. So the Brutalis Dreadnought was basically catching a lift to the mid-board every single game. But I'll never take it again. I went 1-4. It was my worst tournament result ever. Is it crazy idea? Yeah, probably. Unless you just want to have fun, right? Like I took it at a time where I was just having fun. But honestly, it's the worst tournament performance I've ever done. Like, I've been back playing Warhammer for 9 years. It was my worst performance. And one time the Stormraven actually got killed by indirect fire before I even went. So my opponent went first, and he killed my Storm Raven with indirect fire. And I never even, like, it was dead in my deployment zone. Everything that was inside it spilled out in my deployment zone. It was a disaster of a game. So yeah, if you want to take the Storm Raven, you've got like 2 months. I'm pretty sure it's going Legends, but it is so far from competitive. It's not even funny. Cool. So have a great night, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you did enjoy the stream, leave a like. And I'll see you. Hopefully there'll be a new video out tomorrow night, and then Wednesday night will be the battle against Necrons, and then on Friday maybe we need to do another Blade Guard video. I'm worried if I do another Blade Guard video it won't get very many views because I've done like 3 in a row, but we'll see. We'll see if a better option comes up. If you've got a suggestion for Friday's tactics video, leave it in the comments. If you've got a list that you want reviewed in the stream, leave it in the comments as well. Have a great evening, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.